Hello kids, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing excellent at home. I am Nisha, your mentor, and today I am going to present one more new chapter for you. And this chapter is Coming of British. Yes, Coming of British. And the number of the topic is chapter 18. Yes, chapter 18 is all about that the time period when British started to settle themselves in India. What was the reason behind their establishment in India? And what were the reasons and how did they establish themselves in India? What good they find in India to establish themselves? There were some cunning reasons behind these all conspiracy. So what were these? We will come to know one by one. So before starting this chapter, I would like to give you a very short explanation, introduction about this chapter. Like there are some reasons for which British people came to India, and the main reason behind the arrival of British people in India was that they wanted to trade in India. Means for commercial purpose, they found that India is that country where they can easily make their roots strong, where they can start their business strongly, and then they can send a good collection of money in Britain. Fine. So by keeping these profitable thinking in the mind, they targeted India to settle their business here. So slowly, near about more than 100 years back, they came to India, and slowly they started to make their space in India. And after creating one by one, or we can say that step by steps in India, they made their good occupancy in India. Fine. So I am talking about the year 1498. Yes, it is the story about 1498. In the year 1498, what happened in this year? In this year, Vasco da Gama. Yes, who was Vasco da Gama? Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese sailor. He was a Portuguese sailor and means explorer who means started his voyage, and he was the first person who discovered a sea route to India from Europe, and by sailing around Africa. Means ki Africa is the name of the continent. Sailing around Africa, he discovered a sea route that by sailing through water transport we can by sailing through the water transport he discovered a sea route from sea route to India from Europe. Means कि यूरोप से इंडिया तक का जो सी रूट है, बाय सी रूट वो कैसे आ सकते हैं, that was discovered. And who was the discoverer? Vasco da Gama. Yes. Now the Dutch came to India after the Portuguese. Firstly the Portuguese people landed in India by the sea route. Later on the Dutch came to India after the Portuguese. Then arrived the British. Means the firstly Portuguese, then Dutch, then British people, they came to India. And all these three, who? The Portuguese, the Dutchess and the British people, these all were very powerful in themselves. Sorry. Later on in the year 1600 BCE, yes, it was a time period when British East India Company came to India. Yes, the Britishers finally came to India with a target, with a motive that they have to settle themselves in India. So what was the reason behind settling in India? Like they wanted to trade, they wanted to collect money, they wanted to earn money at very low cost and to send this money to their own country. So they started their business from first trading center was Surat. Yes, Surat in Gujarat. It was the first trading center in by the British people, and the British signed a treaty with Mughal Emperor Jahangir. Yes, what happened? That British people signed a treaty which was between the Mughal Emperor. Yes, during that time Mughal dynasty was existing, and the Mughal king emperor, and his name was Jahangir, and the treaty was, it was a bond signed between the British East India Company and the Mughal Emperor Jahangir to set up more trading centers, and factories were set up in numbers of places in India, numbers of factories were set up in different places of India. Numbers of factories were set up by these British people. See beta, what happened during that time, before the settlement of factories, peoples used to make the production by their own hand, means manually everything was prepared, like if it was a clay pot, if it was weaving, making clothes, and preparing items out of cotton, everything was prepared by the hand because no machines were there. But British people, as they used to prepare everything, they used to produce everything by machines, so they brought this idea in India to produce everything by the using machines. So it made Indian laborers frustrated. That we will talk a little later. These factories became main trading centers for British East India Company. When these factories were set up in India, and these became the main trading centers for them. Fine. Later on, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, yes, these people belonging from different places, they started to fought with against started to fought with Britishers. Fine, for the supremacy over India, because all these knew it that if they get the chance to make the supremacy over India, it would be like a boon for them. It would be very profitable, because they found that India is the only country from where they can collect lots of money. So by keeping this cunning profitable ideas in the mind, they thought that we should make their own authority in India. So for this power, attaining this power, these all started to fight with each other, and collectively lastly they fought with Britishers, but finally Britishers won. Later on, this we have done, this we have done, this we have done. Now this greedy British. Greedy means the person who is very selfish. Fine. Yes, Britishers, they were greedy, and to complete their greed, to attain their greed, they applied all their power. They applied all their means to attain the power in India. Means by each and every means they targeted to attain the power in India by every mean. For fulfilling this mean, they started to exploit Indians. They made their conditions very poor. They made them worse. People started to dying due to starving, and so many poor conditions happened with the Indian people just because of the greed of the British people. So this was against of the humanity. It was totally inhuman. And British again great profit and were greedy for the more, and they broke rules and misused the facility granted by the Mughal rulers. Actually, somehow Mughal rulers, during that time, Mughal rulers were ruling over India, so they somehow helped these British people. But it was a help, but Britishers started to misuse this help. Fine, the Britishers has been allowed to trade in India without paying tax. Even for trading purpose, we see that we have to pay the tax. Certain taxes we have to pay. But those trades were free of taxes. Means whatever trades or trading they were doing, British people, that was free of tax. It was one of the very good opportunity for them, that doing a trade without tax. Fine. They had begun up keeping an army in Bengal and had fortified Fort William without the permission of Siraj-ud-Dowla. Yes, during that time, who was the Nawab in Bengal during that time? Siraj-ud-Dowla. Yes, he was the Nawab of Bengal, and he fortified Fort William. It is a place in Bengal, and fortified means किसी भी चीज को घेर लेना, surrounded. So British people fortified Fort William without the permission of Nawab of Bengal. They settled themselves in that place. When Siraj-ud-Dowla demanded the British pay the taxes, they started a war against them in 1757. Yes, in the year 1757, they fought a war. It was called Battle of Plassey. Yes, when Britishers started their trade in Bengal without paying tax, then Siraj-ud-Dowla, he protested them, he opposed Britishers, and in return they fought a battle, and its name was 1757 Battle of Plassey. And finally, the battle between Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowla, and the British government, both people fought with each other, and the battle name was Battle of Plassey. And finally, Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowla, was finally defeated and then killed by them. So this is the whole and very short story about Battle of Plassey. When was it fought? It was fought in the year 1757 between British government and Siraj-ud-Dawla. So first of all, you write this key point in your notebook. Now we come to the next topic, and our next topic is subsidiary alliance. Yes, what is subsidiary alliance? Actually, beta, subsidiary alliance, it was a policy and it was started by Lord Dalhousie in the year 1848 and to 1856. And who was Lord Dalhousie? Lord Dalhousie was the Governor General of India. Who was Lord Dalhousie? He was the Governor General of India, and his time period was 1848 to 1856. According to this policy, what happened ki if an Indian ruler dying without having his own natural successor, then no adopted child can have his place. Fine. So in this case, if any kingdom, if any Indian ruler is dying without having his own natural successor, then the kingdom would come under the rule of British control. So this policy did not recognize the adopted son as heirs. Fine. So natural जो बच्चे हैं kings के वो ही राजगद्दी पे बैठेंगे, otherwise जो adopted बच्चे हैं they cannot be recognized as the heir for further rule. So the part of the kingdom will be straight going under the control of British rule. Fine. So this was the subsidiary alliance started by Lord Dalhousie, and he was the Governor General of India. Growing discontent. Yes, the time from when British people landed in India or started trading in India, and this slowly they wanted and they started to capture the control over India. The discontent started to arise inside the heart of Indian people, because the British people always thought for their own profit. They always thought for their own margin. They did not think about the Indian people. So this was the reason that they created the partiality between the English people and the Indian people. They always thought for their own country, own people, and by keeping everything for their own country in the mind, they neglected Indian people badly. So this negligence or this discrimination created the frustration amongst the heart of the Indian people. So slowly the labor class which were working in India, and they were mainly frustrated because they faced lots of economical loss, because weavers or laborers were given very low wages. Throughout the day they were working, they were carrying heavy load and working like poor. But and side by side weavers, those who were doing all their production by their own hand, it was all replaced by the factories and the machine goods. So they lost their jobs, they lost their work. So this condition started to create discrimination or the frustration in the heart of the Indian people, and they were mainly forced to grow. And the farmers, yes, the farmers, they were stopped to grow the eatable crops. They were forced to grow indigo or opium. Indigo is a blue colored dye which is used to dye the clothes, and this was highly demanded in the demanded by the British people in England. So these were grown, cultivated by the Indian farmers, and it was sent to the Britain directly, and it was very high profit making products. So British people were collecting money for their own profit. Fine. Now next is Revolt of 1857. So this is the Revolt of 1857, when the Indian people, this Indian heart filled with the discontent. So lastly they thought to create a revolt, because they felt the need of making the opposition against the British people. And during the time from when British people came to India, since that time till the Revolt of 1857, mainly farmers, weavers and sepoys, yes, soldiers, they faced a lot. And Revolt of 1857 actually happened after an immediate cause of, like, it was a event, religious, what to say, that it was an event which took place, which was against of their religion. like the cartridges which was used in the gun that was greased by the flesh of pig and cow, and these are the it was the cartridges which was greased by the flesh of pig, flesh of pig and cow. It was to be torn by the teeth. So the Indians, they who worship cows, how can they supposed to tear the cartridges with their teeth? It was against of the religion. So the time when they came to know about this such a scandal, they means they blasted, they created immediate revolt against the British people because it was hidden to them. But lastly, when they came to know, they started immediate revolt. So the Indian soldier refused to take these cartridges, and revolt was against the British in the year 1857. This revolt is also known as First War of Indian Independence and Sepoy Mutiny too. Fine. The revolt of 1857, it was started in, the center was Meerut. Where was the center of 1857? It was centered in Meerut. And who were the main famous leaders who followed this movement, followed this revolt? Nana Sahib Tatya Tope, Begum Hazrat, Rani Lakshmi Bai. These were some leaders who mainly fought this battle. And the farmers and workers also joined this battle, because during that time farmers, workers and sepoys, they were mainly targeted. And the last Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar was declared the supreme leader by the soldiers. Yes, the soldiers who were participating in this revolt, they declared Bahadur Shah Zafar as their main leader of the revolt. They crushed the revolt. The many Indian leaders and the soldiers were arrested during this revolt. Means the revolt was against of the British people, so it is quite obvious that they were arrested, they were tortured, they were beaten badly by the British government because they were opposing British government. So they will be, Bahadur Shah Zafar was arrested and sent to exile to Burma. Means अज्ञातवास जिसको कहते हैं exile. Bahadur Shah Zafar was sent to Burma. Now it is known as Myanmar. Fine. Now what happened after revolt? Means after revolt, so many changes took place. Lots of changes took place after this aggressive revolt. What kind of changes took place? Administrative changes took place after this revolt, and the ruling period of Mughal ruler, which was continued for 400 years, that came to end. And British East India Company also ended. Means two main power came into end, and the direct command of India, rule over the India, that came in the hand of Queen of England. Means कि Queen of England जिनके हाथ में direct power आ गया था इंडिया को rule करने का, instead of British East India Company. Next is nationalism arose in people. Less the feeling towards the country, patriotic feeling towards the country, that started to arise inside the heart of the people, Indian people. Because you know that before that they were not knowing what is wrong with us, what is right with us. But immediately when they faced lot of discrimination, when they faced lots of frustration created by British government, then they felt that no, we are treated badly, we are treated wrongly by the British people. So why are we bearing such pain? Why are we being tortured? So we have to stop this torture, we have to stop this discrimination. So for this purpose, when they felt bad inside the heart, they started to rebel against this cruel policy of British government, and the feeling for their own country started to arise inside the heart of every Indian people. So this feeling is known as nationalism, the patriotic feeling towards the country. Fine. So first of all, you write these key points in the notebook. Now beta, we will start this book exercise which is given in your book. I am writing answers on the board. You keep filling, and side by side I will be explaining. So the first one is the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. The Mughal Emperor gave permission to British to set up trading centers in India. Like who gave the permission to set up trading centers in India? To British people. So who was the person? He was Jahangir. Yes, Jahangir was the Mughal ruler who gave the permission to the British people to set up the trade in India. So don't write wrong spelling in your book. Second is discovered the first route. Discovered the first sea route to India. Who discovered the first sea route to India? And the correct answer is Vasco da Gama. And who was Vasco da Gama? Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese sailor who came to India by sea route. Third is the Battle of Plassey was fought in the year 1757. In which year Battle of Plassey was fought? Battle of Plassey was fought in the year 1757. Fine. Next is after the Revolt of 1857, Queen Victoria became the Empress of India. Yes, who became the Empress of India after the revolt of 1857? Because you know that so many changes took place after the revolt of 1857. Lots of administrative changes also took place after the revolt of 1857. So what immediate changes took place regarding the administration? Like East India Company was ended, Mughal rule also ended. So that time direct control came in the hand of Queen Victoria after the revolt of 1857. So this is all about the book exercise. The remaining part I have left for you. You keep trying yourself, you fill yourself. If you find any problem, if you face any problem, I am there to help you. But for that you have to read your book once again. The main points and the dates and events that you have to mark with the pencil. Keep marking, keep writing and keep solving. Question answers we will do in our next video. Till then, have a nice day. Goodbye.